My tummy is starting to hurt again. We'll get through this. Hold on 1 second. I gotta go to the bathroom again.
Mira, Ma, I ready for your in-laws. Are you and BRB guests this season? Actually, Ma, that's my favorite attraction. The best food. What's the secret? You want to know my secret? Yeah, of course. It all starts at Super Dollar. Come, let's go. I'll show you.
Super Dollar has 3 convenient locations filled with everything you need to spruce up your home for the holidays. New sheets and curtains for the bedroom, bath mats, toiletries, and towels for the bathroom, plus everything for the kitchen, and all the new home decorations to set the perfect holiday scene.
Ma, gotta can you wait to me? I'm ready for the holidays. Oh, qué bueno. ¿Y yo qué? I need gift for my nephews and nieces. Ma, look.
And don't forget, Super Dollar has toys. Lots and lots of toys. Plus a wide selection of phone accessories, gaming systems, and lots of games. It's your one-stop shop for all.
Greetings, everyone.
Super Dollar.
Welcome to Chant A Psalm A. I had to take a moment. I don't know what's happening with my tummy, but this is what's happening with my tummy. Anyway, thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A. It is really early. We're up at the hour, a little bit 11 after the hour here. So it's about 11 after the hour where you are, whether it's 2 hours behind or ahead. It's still 11 minutes after the hour. So let's get started with Chant A Psalm. I've been away for some time, and some amazing things have been happening, and I welcome all my friends and my foes and my stalkers. Yeah, stalkers. I'm kind to everyone. So thank you so much. This shirt that I have on is actually my dad's shirt. I got it from his closet. As you can tell, I'm at home. And this shirt keeps me close to my dad. Well, not keeps me close to my dad, but it's just, part of what's left behind when folks, leave, they leave behind, things. My dad left behind these things. So um, I'm thankful that I can have these, So yeah, I look like I'm dressed in a man's shirt. So this is my dad's shirt. Uh, but we have some kind of graininess in this video. Let me see if I can wipe it. Okay, I should prepare before I do this, right? Let's put it down. Okay, I had too much light on the I'm just waking up, you guys. This is how I look when I wake up. Anyway, oh my goodness. I have to put my fan on because I'm kind of hot. But yeah, it's been amazing. I want to give thanks so much to the grace and perfect love of the Most High, because that perfect love you cannot find anywhere else. I mean, people may share that and everything like that, but the most perfect love is the love of the Most High. So I'm thankful for that. And I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous and good and kind and loving. I burnt my hand with the incense I was lighting, and it bubbled up. So I'm using some of my oil to test the potency of my oil. Oh goodness. I am so thankful for my good friends who are watching, and I'm not exposing my goods. Okay. So yeah, I was lighting an incense, and I have to light one now actually. Let me get it. And I burnt, the tip of it burnt my top of my hand. So, and I attribute that to the fact that I'm scary. I'm afraid of mice, and there has been a mice situation happening, and I should not be afraid. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of mice, I will not be afraid. So I was burning this, and it kind of burnt my hand. So anyway, I'm thankful that you're joining Chant A Psalm A Day. We are here. It's a little bit after the hour. Today is the 20th of December. The 20th of December. And we're in the month of Tassas. For those of you who are on the Ethiopian calendar, we're in the month of Tassas. So Tassas, that month is bringing in the Ethiopian Christmas that is called Lidet, and it is happening January 7th. It's to celebrate the three kings that brought gifts to the baby Jesus. Blessed greetings, Connie. You're up early. What time is it? Golly. Yep, I got my incense burning. And I got my hot tea. I've traveled home, actually, to the Virgin Islands. And I'm excited. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you so much for liking this video. Thank you so much. Blessed good morning to you. It's early. Yeah, it's 15 after the hour. It could be 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I am on a different time. So it's about, yeah, it's about that. But I'm excited to be home to see my mom and to be, here. I've learned some things about myself. I was on a 3-day, journey. And in that journey, I realized that I'm weak. I'm weak. I came home and there's mice, little tiny mice, there's like a infestation. Anyway, it was all in my file cabinets. They were everywhere. And I had to hire someone to come deal with that and clean my whole room out, take everything out. And anyway, I got some sticky pads and put down, and there were mice on it that got caught. Let me tell you, I did not know I was that afraid like that. I screamed, I hollered, I kicked up, I did all this up. And I said, wait a minute, I'm afraid. And I said, God, I am so sorry. That's not you. Why am I afraid of that? That is not you. I need to readjust some things about myself. So I had to do that. And my mom, oh my goodness, when the trap caught 2 of them, my mom was the one who came and took it out. I couldn't even see it, touch it. So I got burned for being weak. Okay. Yeah. When things happen to me, I'm like, what did I do? I did that to myself because I was not brave enough. I need to be, and someone said, well, people are afraid of things. People are afraid of spiders. They're afraid of, heights. They're afraid of different things. And it's okay. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not everybody. I'm not a regular person. That's not supposed to be, I'm not supposed to be afraid. I overcame my fear of lizards when I was a child. I overcame my fear of that. So when I see a lizard now, I'm like, oh, hi, come get the mosquitoes. I know what your job is. But when I look at the mice, I don't know what their job is. Just to tear up my papers. They destroyed a lot of my paper. I had to throw a lot of stuff away. So because of that, I said, it's war. It's war. So my daughter brought some sticky pads too. So we put some, and there's none on there. I don't know if it's too small. The ones I got were kind of big. They folded out like that, and they were big. They caught them. But anyway, I'm thankful that I could be able to, basically look within myself and see my flaws and see where I can be better, in terms of being stronger and not being bitter, but being better. I don't want to be bitter because of these mice, I want to be better and be stronger to fight them, to conquer them, because that's a sign. Pestilence is a sign of these times we're in. And it's really, a time that we have to get near to what is good, and keep in that space, because there's so many things out here that's not good that can make us bitter and make us, not good. So we're going to get into the psalm today. And I love the psalm today because it's short, it's 4 verses, really quick. I have to pick up my worker at 7, I believe. No, 8. I think he said 8. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get him here to finish up the work that I need to get done. So, Psalm 123. It's titled, Our Eyes Look to we look above. Okay. So when I was passing by the mice that was on there, I looked above. I was like, Lord, I didn't want to look down on those things. Ah, no. I threw the trash out yesterday. I threw 2 big bags of trash. Okay. And I put them in bins, lifted it up. The mouse was in there, and I was like, I'm going to be brave. I lifted it up, even though I knew it was in there in the trash. Lifted it up and took it to my Jeep, put it in the Jeep, and took it to the trash, and it was gone. 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 And I was brave to do that. I was brave, even though I knew they were in there. I still, you know what I mean? They were in the trap, but they were in the garbage. And I didn't want to touch the I didn't want to, but I had to be brave. My friend who's helping me fix my room, him and I went to elementary school together, and he said to me yesterday, he said, you're a Hulk, because I picked up the door. I was like, I could carry this door by myself. Come on. I said, hold the other side, and we're carrying this door together. And he and I went to elementary school together. Who would have thought, when I was sitting in class in the 5th grade or 4th grade or whatever grade it was, my friend Stafford, shout out Stafford, would be here helping me in my need as a 55-year-old. That's why, you never know who you're going to need or who's going to be there for you in your, time of need and in your, final days on this earth. You don't know. So I'm thankful for Stafford and for my mom. Both of them showed me bravery and showed me support. The other person I want to be thankful for is my friend Gail. Shout out to Gail in Alabama. Gail is an amazing person, and I'm so glad that we have reconnected. And it's given me a chance to realize that good people are still there. They were always there. There's a song, I love this song. It reminds me of, Gail. It's called Fantasia's song, what is it? Now you guys didn't get me on this thing. I gotta do the song. It's called Looking for You. And it's a beautiful song because it's a friendship. It's like this high motion, blessed greetings, kase o aha. So, I'm thankful for my friends. So I'm thankful for Stafford, for my mom, for Gail, and then for my friend Brenda out in New York. My other friends who are not mentioned on this, and for those who are my foes, who are my enemies, who are my adversaries, who are my haters. I send out love to you all, same way, because I have to love even those like as I love myself. It's hard because it's like, why are you going to love somebody that hates you? No, but guess what? When you love them, the bitterness and the weight releases and you're light. You can rise up. You know what I mean? Rise up to your potential. So my daughter arrived yesterday. Oh my goodness. This is my home birth baby. My home birth baby, 1999. Yeah, 1999. November 4th, on the island of St. John in Coral Bay now. Okay. Which is on the other side of the island, on the eastern side. She was born in the east. To the east, my brother to the east, my sisters. And November 4th, well, I started going into labor from the coronation day, November 2nd. November 2nd is a coronation day. and I started going into labor from that day. So she didn't arrive until, the fourth. However, this is my home birth baby, and I specifically speak to that because on the island of St. John, women who want to have babies who live on St. John have to travel to St. Thomas to have their babies. They don't have the facilities, okay? The facilities now on St. John for women to have a baby. Where I had my baby, it was in my home. And my friend, who's a midwife, okay, thank goodness for Jeannie Williamson. Shout out to Jeannie Williamson. She's in Portugal right now, living the best life. And Jeannie is amazing. She was there for me. She is not from my race. She's not from my family. She's my gender. That's what we have in common. We're women. And the commonality of that forced a strength and a power to emerge. And that strength and power that emerged gave me the opportunity to experience a home birth. Okay? On the island of St. John, a home birth. And this home birth became the talk of the town. Everyone thought I was crazy. Well, they still probably think I'm crazy. I'm sorry, Moshin, that you have no English. You need a translator. There's one you can buy that's in your ear. And so you can understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, people thought I was crazy. They still think so. That I was not going to the hospital to have a baby because I had 2 hospital births that were horrible. Okay, horrible, nightmares. And I said, no, thank you for liking this video. I said, no, I want to have a home birth. I want to experience this. I want to experience depending totally on the higher power. I want to know, I want to build that relationship. I want to give myself to that. And I did. And it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I had a home birth. The only people that were there was the midwife, my friend Jeannie, the midwife. The other person was my son, both of my sons, and their dad. All of them have the same dad. He was there. And then my sister friend, my sister in Christ, and her daughter, Nandi, was there. So these individuals that were there experienced something amazing. Go attend a home birth. You see what I'm talking about. It's amazing, okay? Especially when you're the person having the baby. It was hard. It was brutal, and it was powerfully empowering. Powerfully empowering, if that's ever a phrase. But I wanted to read a letter that I wrote to my daughter. This is a binder. She's been missing this binder. We thought it was in Texas. I thought I had mailed it to her. But it's been in my office the entire time. You see how things are right? They were there all along. And that's what I'm telling you about relationships. the person for you was there all along. Was there all along. Anyway, I want to read this letter because it's, when I read it yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh. This is prefacing the psalm, because the psalm today is quite powerful. Quite powerful, I'm telling you. It is Psalm 123. So this is prefacing the psalm. Listen to this letter. November 11th, 2016. Where were you on November 11th, 2016? Thank you for liking this video, by the way. Where were you? Where were you on November 11th, 2016? Do you know? Do you know where you're going to? Do you know where you were? Well, I was writing this letter, and it reads, it's a quote. The first part is a quote from Haile Selassie I, His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. We give thanks for these words. And it reads, throughout history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted, the indifference of those who should have known better, the silence of the voice of justice when it mattered most, that has made it possible for bad and evil to be in the world triumphantly. Okay? So when you don't act, when you see something, say something. When you see something and you don't say something, you allowing evil to triumph in the world. You know? So that person who shot that person, instead of shooting him, write. You have an Ivy League education, right? Write something. Start an organization to fight these things that are happening instead of violence. Act in a different, better way than violently solving problems, you know? So when you have indifference, the indifference of those who should have known better. You should know better. You don't take a gun and go shoot someone. Come on. But guess what? The chickens come home to roost. When these things, mass murders and violence are happening in the world, is because the world, and I'm speaking about America, was founded and created on violence. Violence. What did Patrick Henry give me? Liberty or give me what? Death. Violence. Violence begets violence. Okay? Malcolm X said it when JFK was shot. It was like the chickens coming home to roost. People were mad at him for saying that. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, the man got shot. But look at the genesis of these situations. Where did these things begin? It began with a system of oppression and violence that has now coming back on to the same folks and nations that are being violent. This is going to happen. And people in the nation are collateral damage. Look at the soldiers in Vietnam. They were collateral damage. They gave the soldiers Agent Orange, a poison, to poison the enemy while they were being poisoned. You know, that's evidence of what I'm talking about in terms of looking at how the system of oppression comes back on the citizens of that oppressive system. They're the ones who suffer. They're the ones who are sheep to the slaughter. And that's what the Vietnam soldiers were sheep to the slaughter. Some came out alive, but not fully themselves. They came out alive, but they came and returned with diseases, physical diseases, mental diseases, drug dependency, abusing their wives, beating up their wife, all this stuff. This tears down a family unit. War is no good. So when a nation is about that, they're going to get that back. They're going to get it back. And Selassie the First talks about that in this speech. When the voice is silenced, the silence of the voice of justice, when it matters the most, right? That voice of justice that's silent, when you keep your mouth shut when it matters the most, you're allowing evil and bad to have a party. And people say, "Oh, you don't mince words. Oh, you don't da da da." No. Why should you be about truth? Truth is going to set you free. Why be in bondage? Why be in bondage? We're already in bondage in a system of oppression. Right? We're already there. So why put ourselves in that bondage by silencing our voice when it matters the most? I'm going to stand up for justice. It was wrong for that man to shoot that man. It's wrong for anyone to hurt anyone. It's wrong. We didn't come here on this earth to hurt any flesh and blood. That's not the fight. The fight is not against flesh and blood. It's against the powers and principalities of this place. So shooting that CEO is not going to win any fight. You were wrong. You have an Ivy League education. You were wrong. Like, you were wrong. Just because you're educated, there's educated fools. That's what that person is, an educated fool. Along with a lot of those out there who are educated fools who run in the country into oblivion. Okay? Why do you think there's potholes on the streets of the Virgin Islands? I was driving to pick up my daughter and I had to dodge potholes after potholes after potholes in the streets. Why? Because the powers and principalities do not give a hoot about the people who are driving on the road. They don't have to drive on them. They get in, okay? So when we talk about this voice of justice, use your voice. Use your hand as a weapon. Don't be a weak person and go take it into your own hand to go hurt somebody. The fight isn't against flesh and blood, little China. That's the devil business. So you want to be about going out there and shooting folks, hurting people, destroying people's life, coming to fight against flesh and blood? Guess who gonna come deal with you? The righteousness of the power of the Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, and Raphael. Don't mess with righteousness. So I feel sorry for the educated fool who went and took up arms and gonna go hurt flesh and blood. That's not the fight, Joe. The fight is, guess what? Your pen, weapon. Okay, your fight is coming together as a people, coming together. Just because you're black, you're white, that don't mean we can't come together. Just because you're Jew and Gentile, don't mean we can't come together. Just because you're Republican and Democrat, don't mean we can't come together. Come together. and fight against the oppression with love and kindness, not with violence. Okay? Not with violence. Obviously, you're using the wrong voice for decades. Obviously, you're using the wrong voice. You tried using your voice for decades? Well, guess what? Switch up your voice. Try to use some words, powerful words. That's an excuse. You say you've been using your voice for decades and now it's time to go shoot someone? You fool. I'm going to block you, Little China, off of here because you're not thinking. You're thinking from based off of emotion, and you're thinking based off of the oppressive system that's influenced you. Yeah. America has messed up some folks thinking. America has indoctrinated folks into violence. That's why, and it comes from the public education system, teaching children about, pirates and all this stuff, and all these conquerors coming to conquer, indigenous people. We teach that in the schools. Violence. Okay? Come into a country and take over. That's what we teach folks, with violence. So don't you think you, Little China, been indoctrinated into those thinking? That's why you feel it's okay for somebody to go shoot somebody in the back? Because that's what you've been taught. The system of America taught you that. So you're just regurgitating what you've been taught. And it's sad because mental slavery and mental illness go hand in hand. That's why we got educated fools, because people's education indoctrinates them into this foolish mentality of violence. Yeah. This PhD candidate, he went and killed some students in, I don't know where it was. Yeah. Is that justified? Just like a little boy in a playground. The other little boy stole his toy. Is it justified for the other boy to go and come bring a gun and shoot the little 4-year-old? No. Learn to communicate with a different voice. Communicate with a different voice. The voice you've been using for decades ain't working, squatto. It ain't working. So I wrote this to my daughter, and I told her to remember to always know that you are blessed. This is for everybody else out here who wants to go into violence. Listen to this. Always know that you are blessed, highly favored, and wonderfully made to do good, help others, and always be honest and trustworthy. You come from a long line of kings and queens, and you are a princess. That's what I told my daughter. You are a princess. One day, you will be a queen and will rule your own life. That's right. Always look to your African ancestors for comfort in knowing that you can do anything you set your mind to do. Your African ancestors have paved the way for you and have sacrificed their lives to make it a better day. Yes, indeed, to make it a better day. So, how are we making it a better day? Are we going to make it a better day taking a gun and going to shoot all the CEOs of these insurance companies? No. Are we going to get a gun and shoot all these former slave ships? Because insurance companies are tied to these slavery. Are we going to go shoot every white person because they represent the slave master? Are we going to shoot every black person because we don't like them? What are you dealing with, folks? America, stop it. Stop the foolishness, man. So I wanted to preface the psalm with that. And when I look at the psalm today, 123, Psalm 123 talks about our eyes look to righteousness. That's where our eyes have to look. Now, if that dude, I'm not even gonna call his name because he's an educated fool. The educated fool who went and shot someone, when he had stopped and looked to righteousness, he wouldn't have done that. He is not Nat Turner. Okay? He is not Nat Turner. So, we look at Psalm 123, and I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is accepted to what is righteousness. So, Shawa, blessed rise to you for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. And Southern Charm, thank you for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. Thank you for your quote. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. Thank you so much for that. And when I talk about peace, I talk about a calm tranquility, like a calm transition, a calm serenity, you know. When you have a revolution, because the revolution ain't going to be televised now. It ain't. The real revolution, you're not going to see it on the news. I watch the news just to see what lies are being told and how I can decipher between the lies, okay, and the cries. So I love that quote, Southern Charm. Thank you so much for sharing that quote. We have to be about love. Love. Make love, not war. So let's look at the psalm today because it's going to set this entire circumstance, what we're dealing with in. Okay. So when I talk about peaceful, making peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. What I am interpreting that to be is we have to be about love, the revolution of love. And when that seems impossible, violence is gonna happen. So when we talk about justifying violence can never be justified. It cannot be. So we have to change our revolutionary thinking. It cannot be about violence. It has to be about love. That's the revolution. And when we make that impossible, I feel we make violence inevitable. It's going to happen. And when we talk about enslavement and the enslaved fighting their master, this happened right here in St. John in November 1733. Enslaved Africans who were stolen from Africa were brought to St. John Virgin Islands. It wasn't St. John Virgin Islands at the time. It wasn't bought by the U.S. yet. And they were brought here. They gathered together, right? And rose up against the slave master, right? Because they didn't have the words to use. They didn't have the words to use. There wasn't a system of that we have today, where it's more intricate today, it's sneaky today, it's in a different way today. The Ku Klux Klan took off their robes and now they're wearing suits. It's a different situation. So because it's a different situation, it demands a different resolution. We cannot have the same resolution that we had then today. Okay? That was a time, Southern Charm. That was a time for that. Today it's a different time. We cannot be violent today in the way we were when the slave master had us shackled physically. Because the slave master has us shackled mentally, it has to be a mental revolution. It cannot be a violent revolution. Okay? It has to, because this is not a physical war that's going on. We may think it is, but it's a spiritual war. There's a spiritual war going on. We don't see it. That's why I said the revolution is not going to be televised. Okay? And there are many examples. There are many examples. But guess what? There is an advocate. Some people who don't believe in that advocate take up arms and go violently because they can't wait for that advocate to come and deal with it. But you got to have patience, my friends. You got to have patience because that advocate is near. Right there, come in, right there, and go and deal with it. You don't have to take up anything and any arms, any physical way. People are suffering from a lack of health care because they are indoctrinated into the lie of America. Once you free yourself out of that slavery mentally, you won't need health care. You won't need it. So the shift has to happen. You cannot be dependent on a system who's taking from you, sucking you dry, called health insurance. Stop eating the foods in America. Bottom line, it's killing you. Look at McDonald's. McDonald's burgers were making people sick. Now somebody got paid off and they say it's okay now. What? Now there's bird flu. Now there's this, and the other. So Americans are dependent on a healthcare system because America is killing the people. Wake up. Stop eating the stuff. Go plant some food. Go buy some land and go plant some food. You may not find seeds because they took the seeds out of stuff because they don't want you to be healthy. They want you to be dependent on the system that's making you sick. So you think the insurance company is going to care about you? You think the healthcare is going to care about you? Girl, please. These people don't care about you, so what you got to do? Care about yourself. You better care about yourself and go fast and pray. I don't like to use the word pray. I say commune with the righteousness. Okay? There's ingredients in the foods in America that's not regulated. And these ingredients have been known to cause ailments. And they're still allowed to be in the food. What does that tell you? Go attack the food. Go right. I don't say go attack violently. Go to the source of what this is, people. It's not the healthcare system. It's not the insurance companies. It's the food. The food, F-O-O-D, not F-O-O-L. See how close it is to fool? See how close it is to that word, food and fool. So because it's a physical war, get yourself ready. Stop eating these fast foods. That's killing folks. That's putting people in pain and suffering. Not from a lack of health care, from a lack of healthy foods. Come on now. The land was used to grow food, right? And when you lift up your eyes to the truth, you're going to see that it's not the healthcare system, right? It's not the healthcare system. It's not the insurance companies. It's not these things. It's agriculture. Get into agriculture. You need to eat, right? You want to eat and be healthy so you don't have to go to the doctor. And the doctor gives you medicine and he says, that'll be $30 and I'll see you next week, right? That's what the doctors do. They milk you, they milk you, and they milk you, and they milk you. Stop being a fool. Okay? Exactly. Other countries have health care for all, but we don't. I'm not a we with America. You can be we with America all day. I don't put myself as a we. I'm not American. I'm in America, but I am not of this place. Okay? They can take me out of Africa, but you can't take the Africa out of me, the motherland. Okay? I don't have an excuse for nothing. I don't make excuses, Southern Charm. I don't make excuses. Okay? I don't. We're 51 minutes into this and I'm talking to you. I haven't even unpacked the psalm yet. Other countries have health care. That shows you what America is about, right? Isn't it? Doesn't that show you that? You answered your own question. There's no excuse for that. What are you all doing in America when it comes to health care? Are you giving free health care here in the USA? No, but you're still here. Okay, and you're still here complaining about it. What are you doing about it? Taking arms and go shooting people up? This is the Wild Wild West? That's what you're dealing with, the Wild Wild West? Guess what? That ain't gonna go too far. Okay, because when you're dead, you can't fight. You better walk away to live to fight another day. Anyway, Psalm 123. Thank you for liking this video. Some of you may not agree, but guess what? I do understand. When you talk like that, you talk in a judgmental way. Like you're telling me that what I don't understand. You don't know me from Adam. You don't know what I know and what struggles that I know. You don't know the struggles that I have been through and that I know. And making excuses is not what I do. Okay? The rich have abused their power from the time America was America. Okay? You don't like it? Go move to a different country. Get out now. Go to another country. That's it. Okay? You think I sound like I don't understand the struggle of normal people and would rather make excuses for the rich people abusing their power. Okay, interesting. I don't make excuses for nobody. Rich, poor, black, white. Wrong is wrong. Okay? Wrong is wrong and you're wrong. Okay? Violence do not solve problems today. It solved problems in the days of slavery when people were physically chained in bondage. Okay? You put yourself in bondage by eating the foolishness of this America. And then you want to cry about there's no health care? Girl, bye. Boy, bye. Our eyes look to the Lord, our God. That's who we're going to look at. Righteousness. That's what God is. That's how it's defined. That's what it represents. And that's how it operates. Righteousness operates in that way. But evil and devilness operates in these evil ways. All right? Violent ways. Oppressive ways. Oppressing people without any health care. Right? Letting people pay taxes and they don't get nice roads. They got potholes, right? That's oppressive, right? But am I going to go shoot up the government? No, I'm not going to go do that. Give to Caesar what is for Caesar, and give to the Most High what is for the Most High, right? And what is for the Most High? The creator of goodness. Love each other. Okay? Love each other. Look, let me tell you about health insurance companies. When my dad was alive, he's a retiree with the government of the Virgin Islands, okay? The government of the Virgin Islands and United Healthcare made a deal, negotiated, and the negotiation wasn't for the people of the Virgin Islands retirees. It was to put more money in United Healthcare pocket, right? So now there's a deductible. You can't go to the doctor without paying $500 first. This is the deal United Healthcare and the government of the Virgin Islands made. Okay? This is nefarious. Really? You're going to do this to folks who's retired? You're going to take their money? This is crazy. So when I see things like this happening, I cannot go violence. I cannot go black on them and I can't do that. I'm going to read this psalm. I'm going to read this. There's going to be a purge. They're going to legalize the violence and let people purge. Let them go and deal with who they want to deal with. That's about to happen, right? So in the psalm today, that's why it's important to stay in love, stay in righteousness, stay in a good place. So Psalm 123, our eyes look to righteousness. That's what you got to look to. Not violence, not nasty food of America that's killing folks and pushing them into the healthcare system. Okay, they're in bed together. Healthcare and food, the food system and the healthcare system is in bed together. They've had intercourse and now they're pushing out babies like mice. So in verse 1, it says, to righteousness I will lift up my eyes. I'm going to lift my eyes up to no healthcare system. I'm not going to lift my eyes up to no friggin' these nasty foods, packaged foods, processed foods, that stuff that's in a can. All that stuff is poison. Okay, I'm not going to lift up my eyes to that. I'm going to lift up my eyes to the hills. From where come my strength? The same hill Moses went up to. And when he got up there, he saw the burning bush. Okay. And the Most High talking to him out of the fire. Okay. And that's okay, Southern Charm, if you think that. I respect how you feel. That's blessed. You share how you feel. We're going to, we're going to exchange, communication, and we may disagree. That don't mean I'm going to go hurt you. That don't mean you're going to come hurt me, right? If we disagree. That means that we have a commonality of communication and respect. That's the commonality. Respect. We may disagree here and disagree there, but guess what? We have a commonality. Just like the story and the example I said many times in my psalm. Two boys or two people are going into a store. One wants to rob the store, right? Because he's hungry. The other one doesn't want to rob the store. They disagree. What's going to happen? How can they maintain commonality? Maybe they're related, maybe they're cousins, and maybe they have that commonality, right? And that can bring them into the reality of not robbing the store because it's not the right thing to do, So when somebody has the right thing on their mind and somebody has the wrong thing on their mind, their two is going to clash. But there has to be a commonality to make that safe. Okay? Let me tell you something. The rich is going to get richer and the poor going to get poorer. The rich get richer off the backs of the poor. Okay? That's the reason you have these organizations to help the poor. It's in place to do that. That's just how it is. The rich are getting richer off the poor with the foods. The poisonous foods that people are consuming. People buy these cheap foods because they're poor. So the rich are feeding off of them. They're eating the people up like they're eating bread. What you talking about? This is what's happening. It's going to be that way until the poor starts becoming self-sufficient and coming and separating out. Remember they say, come out of her, my people. This was how many times this has been told? Come out of her, my people. Come out. Come out of her, my people. Okay? Come out of her, my people. So you're going to do the same thing the rich does, hotel? You're going to eat the poor like the rich eat the poor? Come on now. Two wrong don't make a right. It don't make a right. A wrong and a wrong added together are going to still be wrong. Okay? And how do you define rich? That's the lie that people's been indoctrinated into thinking in America. That rich is about money. It's about the things you acquire. Your cars, your houses, your this, your that. You got a plane. Right? When I get my own plane, Gallant Air, it's like, oh, she rich. No, I'm not rich. That doesn't make me rich. They asked Bob Marley that same thing. Are you rich? He said, that money don't make you rich. It don't. That's a lie that's people been indoctrinated into believing. That's why they go kill folks for money. Because they're under the influence of the lie. So, verse 1. It's an hour and I haven't even started the psalm yet because y'all got me on this whole thing. So, to righteousness I lift up my eyes. Righteousness is enthroned in the spheres of heavens, in the high places. Righteousness is enthroned. And behold, as servants, as eyes of servants of righteousness, our eyes serve right. We're going to look for good. I'm looking for good. I'm looking for good. I'm looking for good every place. Oh, I'm not seeing good over here. Let me just go there, right? You cannot fight a system that's been in place oppressing people for centuries and think one gun shooting one person is going to solve it. It's not. He's wrong. He's an educated fool. So our eyes is supposed to be on righteousness. We look to the hand of the master of righteousness. The master of righteousness's hand does good. It takes soil and it plants food. It takes somebody else's hand and holds it and helps them along. Instead of shooting that person in the back, right? Go and give them a hand and say, I just want to tell you, what's going on with this insurance company. I want to just talk to you for a sec. Let me say this. Look at the movie Joy. That's a true story about a woman who was dealing with creating ideas for businesses and somebody was trying to get over on her. She didn't go get a gun and shoot them up. She spoke to them. She stood up to them and talked and used words, different words. She got her moles back. She got her stuff back. She got her things back. She erred on the side of kindness. She looked at Psalm 123. Her eyes was on righteousness. And as the eyes of servants of righteousness look to the hand of the master of righteousness, as the eyes of the maidservant to the hands of the mistress, so our eyes have to be on that righteousness too, till that righteousness has mercy on us. Okay? You don't take up arms on onto people. Your eyes need to look to righteousness, not to look at a gun to go hurt someone with. So in verse 3 now, have mercy upon I and I, O righteousness, have mercy upon I and I, for I and I have had more than enough of contempt. I've had more than enough. Our life has had more than enough, right? People are suffering from health insurance companies. People are suffering from the system of oppression, right? We've had more than enough of the scorn of those who are at ease, right? The people call them the rich. They don't have any problems. They're at ease. Or of the contempt of the proud. You know, we know pride is not a good thing, because it stops you from telling the truth. It stops you from being honest and kind to folks when you're filled with pride. Yeah. So that's our psalm today. And Selah and Selah again. I wanted to look at the word today. And when I looked at the word today, is guidance. We need guidance. So blessed that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of guidance, in the sight of compassion, in the sight of righteousness, in the sight of forgiveness. That was the word yesterday, forgiveness. I didn't read that word, but the word yesterday was forgiveness. So I have forgiveness for those who hurt other people, because I'm a divine being. God's forgiveness is mine. Sometimes my actions are less than divine. When my words and actions do not reflect the Christ or the righteousness within, I may want forgiveness. After regrettable moments of anger, spite, or poor judgment, I may be flooded with feelings of regret. People do that because in the moment they're angry, in the moment they want to be spiteful, in the moment they don't have good judgment. I told somebody, you had a lapse in judgment when you went off and met someone, you know? So they may be flooded with feelings of regret, like I made a mistake. When this happens, turn to the divine within you. Pour out the concerns of your heart to that divine within you. And in the stillness of communication to God, to that righteousness, you touch the love of that righteousness when you talk with that. Okay? You don't have to believe in God, hotel. You don't have to believe in God. You believe in righteousness and goodness and mercy. Okay? That's it. Do you believe in compassion? Do you believe in kindness? Do you believe in love? Do you love someone? Because if you love someone, that comes from someplace. It comes from a higher place. The world calls it God, Lord and Jesus. They have these names for it. But you can define that how you want. You don't have to define that how the world does. You can define it as kindness, or you can define it as compassion or grace. Yes, or caring. You care. So you do have that belief of God, but you don't believe in that concept, what the world has turned it into. A lot of people feel that way, hotel. So it's not just you. That's why I translate the psalm into words of liberation, because I look at God as being defined in an operational definition. How does that operate? Let's get to that. People say, God bless. God, what are you blessing? What is that? That is goodness. Let the goodness bless you. Let the righteousness bless you. Let the love bless you. Let the kindness bless you. Let the caring that Hotel talked about bless you. Okay? You want the best for humanity. You care about people, right? That's how God is defined. So you may not believe in God, but you are operating in the God space, in the presence of that righteous caring about folks. And you know, in this time of perfect love, I feel the love of righteousness and goodness. My forgiveness is immediate because the nature of God, of righteousness, God is love, right? The nature of what that being of goodness is love. So when you care about people, you are in that space of love, right? And as I return to the activity of the day, I carry this love with me. Should thoughts of regret creep into my mind, I affirm, everyone speak this after me, I am a perfect child of love. I am a perfect child of caring. I am a perfect child of compassion. I am a perfect child of grace, filled with a wise mind, love, serenity, and light. Okay? I am a perfect child of, and you fill it in there. Okay? I am filled with wise mind, with tranquility, and with light. Any lingering feelings of self-condemnation dissolve in the loving presence of goodness. I am forgiven. I'm thankful for this word today because I needed it. I was battling with something about these mice and being afraid of them. I am forgiven being weak in that moment of being afraid of a mice. So, and I go swim with the sharks. I ride horses. I'm not afraid of those things, but a little tiny something like that, I'm just like, so I got to check myself with that. I got to check myself. So this word today from yesterday, forgiveness, was brought to us by Psalm 86, verse 5. For you, for the righteousness, oh, righteousness is good and forgiving, and righteousness abounds in steadfast love to all who call on righteousness. So call on that. Okay? So when we look at this steadfast love, Hotel is talking about throwing out the rotten and saving the good. That's not our job. Your job is to save yourself. Put your mask on first. Putting your mask on is looking at yourself. What about you that you need to be better at? Start there. In order for us to have a better world, we have to start with ourselves. What is it about ourselves that we can improve to be better so that we can be able to discern folks and know who is good and who is bad? Because when you start throwing out rotten eggs, you may throw out an egg that may not be rotten. What may happen then? So that can be kind of dicey, Hotel. Throwing out, I'm cleaning my room right now. Why didn't you choose to be in the basket? Are you enslaved or something? You have a choice. You don't have to be in a basket. You can come out of the basket and go be self-sufficient without being in the basket. Check that. Look at yourself now. Kind of self-reflect and look in yourself. What are you dependent on in the system of this oppressive system? Are you dependent on what? Like I had to go get a case of water, I'm dependent on that. Getting water from the store to drink for my tea, What can I do? Okay, the basket is the circumstances of life. So the circumstances of life had to have started somewhere with you. You planted that seed and it grew. And then now people are picking at it and you're upset, but you're the one who planted it. So circumstances of life, we create them. Yeah, we create them. I didn't create, my first son passed away. That was a circumstance of life, a death, right? When you're grieving someone. You're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I didn't create this. But I was part of that. Right? I'm responsible. I was part of that. Yes, he was 32 years old, but still, I'm his mother. And those circumstances of life I didn't choose to be put in, but I, as a parent, planted that seed, and you're supposed to nourish. And I didn't. Somewhere along the line, I failed as a parent. Okay, I failed. I made choices that were not going to help, and it ended up hurting. And the results, I lost my son. Even though I didn't take a gun and shoot him, I was the parent that did not do what I was supposed to do. So, yeah, you don't choose your parents, but you get to choose your life. Like I read earlier to my daughter, now you're a queen, you get to rule your own life. Are you going to allow a system to rule your life, or are you going to rule it yourself? So steadfast love is what we stay in. And then the word today is guidance. I follow my inner wise mind to my highest good. In this fast-paced world, I have resources at my fingertips for so much information, right? Yet I know the greatest, most reliable resource is already mine. For any decision I need to make, I can turn within and find the guidance of God, of righteousness, of kindness and caring. That's the guidance you want. You don't want guidance that's going to hurt you or someone else. So I draw upon the source of wise mind, and that source of wise mind is love, to make choices that enrich my life and not deter my life, and that direct my steps to new opportunities and adventures. Okay, in uncertain times, these are uncertain times, I remember to take time to commune with righteousness, or talk to yourself. Okay, go in your closet and talk to yourself about the things that you are not liking about yourself, or that you do love about yourself. Talk to yourself. Commune with that righteousness within yourself. Okay? And open yourself to your inner wise mind. Thank you for liking this video, by the way, and subscribing to the channel so you won't miss a video. As I follow the guidance of my heart, I feel the rightness of my decisions and trust I am called to do what is best for me. As the clamor of modern life falls away, I receive the guidance that leads to wise decisions about my day-to-day experiences, self-care, service, and the wise use of my resources. I walk a path of divine inspiration that fulfills my life. Okay? I enjoy talking to you too, Hotel. Thanks for liking this video, for subscribing. We will commune again with righteousness again. But this has been the word today, guidance. Live and walk in the way of insight. Okay? And when you walk and live in the way of insight, you're able to discern what the right thing is for you to do. So we're an hour into this now. We are 20 minutes after the hour, the top of the hour, and I wanted to share the verse today, because when I looked at the verse today, I was like, wow. In those days, Caesar Augustus, that was the oppressive system in those Bible days, right? They issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. So they wanted to count the people. They wanted to count the people, right? They wanted to, do, what do they do here? They do a census. They go around and they count the people, right? In today's time, there's other decrees that are oppressive, that Hotel talks about, and a lot of you, Southern Charm, talking about, the oppressive healthcare system and stuff like that. So in those days, it was about this census. Today it's about health insurance, it's about taxes, it's about, all these different things, right? So the verse today is talking about a story in the scriptures. You may not believe this, it's okay. Joseph, this is a story. Joseph, he went up from the town of Nazareth. There's a town of Nazareth, and this town of Nazareth is in Galilee. And it's interesting because when Jesus rose, this is another story you may not believe, it's okay. When Jesus rose on the third day and he met the women, he said, "Tell my brethren I'm going to Galilee. Meet me in Galilee," And when the women told them, they were like, "Girl, bye. You don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? He ain't in no Galilee. What? They didn't believe it. So when I read this about Joseph, he went to this town in Nazareth in Galilee to Judea. And this was to Bethlehem, the town of David. So you see how the commonality is interwoven in this story when it comes to David, and it comes to Solomon, and it comes to Selassie, it comes to this lineage, right? Jesus. This is a name that's kind of a new name that was given to the enslaved. Anyway, and they gave the name and they put a picture up, white person with blonde hair and all that stuff, so they can indoctrinate the people into, that. So anyway, the word today, the verse today rather, Luke 2, chapter 2 of Luke, verse 1, and then verse 4 to 5. And it talks about Joseph going up to, he went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea to Bethlehem and the town of David, blah, 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 right? Because he belonged to the house and line of David. So Joseph belonged to this house. He belonged there, right? He was part of that commonality, that lineage. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. So they were getting married. She was already preggo, according to this, right? So in the census and the registering, they wanted to find this Messiah. That was the reason for that. To snuff out this one who was coming. That's why they said, Jesus coming, Jesus coming. This one already came. Okay. And is arisen. And that risen of righteousness reigns. And that is what is going to cover the earth as the water cover the sea. Violence is not going to be no more. We're not going to be hating folks. Thank you, Hotel, for subscribing to this channel. Even though you don't fully agree, we still are going to show the world how we can be sharing a commonality in the disagreements of the life that we live. You live a different life. I live a different life. We come from different experiences and different struggles, but we can have a commonality of communication, right? So I'm glad for that. Thank you so much, Hotel, doing that. So this has been the Psalm today, Selah and Selah again. Thank you so much for joining Chant A Psalm. I wanted to play this song for my friends. This song is not a religious song. but it can be in terms of the song. So I want to play it as I outro here. What are you looking for out there, right? It's already been there. The land has been there. You don't need to go buy food, go grow food. The land, you don't need health care. Go into the bush and get medicine. Hey, looking for someone can always call my friend. And I've been looking for you. Oh, guess I've been looking for you. Looking for peace, tranquility, looking for love. Been looking for something I can always lean on. Looking for you. Hey, I've been looking for you. Search so long. Come home. All alone. Looking for you. Looking for. I've been looking for you. I've been looking for someone to call when I need help. Yeah. Somebody who can love me in spite of myself. Yes. Been looking for you. Yes, I've been looking for you. I've been looking for joy. Been looking for truth. Purpose in all that I do. Looking for you. Oh, yes, I've been looking for you. Oh, search so long. Wonder just to find a place to call home. Hi, Mount Licky. They've been there all along. Righteousness is there, y'all. Grab it. It's been there all along. Guess I've been looking for you. Ooh. Guess I've been looking for you. Ooh. Yeah. Guess I've been looking for you. Ooh. Ooh. Thank you for liking this video. We grooving. Have a blessed day, everyone. What you looking for? Okay. I'm going to outro with this one. Okay. This one is called The Goodness of God. And I love this one. So let's outro with this, okay? And to answer the question, Hotel, do I believe in the Bible was created as a tool for good and morality or as a tool to try and scare people from committing sin against the oppressor? Yeah. It can do that. It can do that. The Bible was used for a lot of things, let me tell you. That's why I throw it up in the air and I just dice it up, okay, into pieces. And you got to purify the word 7 times in the fire. That's what you got to do. So it was used in that way. So, that's why when we talk about God, we talk about righteousness and goodness. The goodness of God is the goodness of righteousness. So this song is about that. Elsu! Mwah! Missed you, girl. I love you good.
For your mercy never fails.
For your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been from the moment that I wake up till I lay my head. Oh, I will chant of the goodness of the Most High, goodness, righteousness. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. That righteousness I'm talking about has been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, oh, I will chant of the goodness of righteousness. Right? We love your voice of righteousness. You have made it of the fire. And the bleakest moments. Righteousness is close like no others. Right there. I know you as a father. I know you as a friend and a mother and a sister and a brother. I have faith in the goodness of the Most High, goodness, righteousness. All my life, righteousness has been faithful. So good. Every breath that I'm taking, oh, I'm saying, chant of the goodness of the Most High, righteousness. People who are indoctrinated, hotel, don't want to change. I'm not indoctrinated, so I'm open. I know the foolishness of the Bible. It was used to oppress. Okay? Running after me. Righteousness running after me. Surrender it. Running after me. Your goodness is running after me. Oh, your goodness is running after me. And everything. Your goodness is running after. It's running after me. Whoa. Let the goodness run after you. That's who I want. I don't want a person with a gun running after me, shooting me in my back. All my life, that righteousness has been faithful. So good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will chant of the goodness of love. Goodness of love. The agape love. All of my life you have been faithful. That goodness has saved me. Okay, I had a home birth on an island. Who can do that? Every breath that I am able, I will chant of the goodness of righteousness. Oh, goodness of righteousness. Oh, of the goodness of righteousness. Have a blessed day, everyone. Take good care. Yes, Connie, that was Fantasia. It's a beautiful song. Take good care. Love y'all.
Built for businesses like yours.
Have a blessed